My foundation used to suck. It always ended up looking cakey or flaky, and you should have seen the creases under my eyes. So in this video, I'm going to be sharing with you 4 game-changing lessons that I learned once I started working on clients and different skin types that will give you the most amazing foundation results ever. So come along with me on the journey I had to go through as a newbie makeup artist. The first and most common problem that I faced as a newbie makeup artist was flaky foundation. And the lesson I learned there was, if you get skincare wrong, give up. Now, luckily that challenge was easily overcome by putting 3 basic skincare steps in place. The first step was realizing that you need to exfoliate at least once a week. Exfoliating your skin means it removes all of the dead skin cells and it promotes a healthy cell turnover, which promotes collagen production. Collagen is the thing that makes you look youthful. Doing just this first step alone improved my foundation game by 90%. The second step is that you need to clean your face twice a day, once in the morning and once in the evening. Usually in the morning, I cleanse with micellar water, and in the evening, I will do a double cleanse, especially if I'm wearing foundation. So I would clean with my normal non-foaming cleanser, and once that's done, I'll cleanse with micellar water again. Then the third step is to moisturize twice a day. So again, once in the morning and once in the evening. You don't necessarily need a PM moisturizer. You can use your day cream as your night cream. And then as a bonus tip, in the morning I always put a SPF after I've moisturized my face. This is not really going to do anything for your foundation, but it's super important to be wearing SPF every single day. So before applying your foundation, you're going to do this. You're going to cleanse your face, then you're going to moisturize your face, you're going to put on SPF, you're going to wait a few minutes for it to sink in, and then you're going to apply your foundation. The next problem I faced was separating foundation. And the lesson I learned to help me overcome this was, if you get skin prep wrong, give up. Now, no, that was not an editing mistake. Let me tell you what I mean. It's super important to match the ingredients of your skin prep to the ingredients of your foundation. This means the ingredients of your skincare and primer should match your foundation. If you have water-based skin prep, then you need a water-based foundation. If you have a silicone-based skin prep, then you need silicone-based foundation. If you have oil-based skin prep, you need oil-based foundation. The reason for this is because water and silicone does not mix. Oil and water does not mix. So when you mix the two together, of course, they're going to repel each other and it's going to cause separating foundation. Now, this is all good and well, but how do you know if something is water-based, oil-based, silicone-based? So let me quickly help you with this. We're going to go look at the ingredients of your skin prep and your foundation. If you see that there is no water in, so it will usually say aqua or water right at the top, but you see that there are a lot of oils in that specific skincare, specific foundation, then you know that is an oil-based product. If you want to see if something is water-based, like I just mentioned, it will say aqua or water right at the top. If you want to know if something is silicone-based, it will usually have something ending in cone or ane in the second or the third ingredient. So something like dimethicone or siloxane. The silicone products will always be high up in the list. Now, this is where the confusion comes in. Some water-based products have silicones in. Some silicone-based products have water in. With water-based products, the silicones will always be lower down in the list, and with silicone-based products, the silicones will always be higher up in the list. Now you might be like, Zandi, well, you just said that silicone and water don't mix, so how does this make sense? It makes sense because these foundations are usually mixed by chemists, and they know the exact ratios and the chemical makeup of all of the ingredients to get this to work perfectly. That's why when you go and try and mix it at home, you do not know the right ratios and it still separates. Wow, that was tiring. Just by the way, if you find this helpful so far, just let me know by smashing the like button. It really just gives me an indication whether people really like the info that I'm giving or not. And of course, it helps me reach more makeup lovers who wants to become confident in makeup. The next problem I faced was slipping foundation. And the lesson I learned was that you need to match foundation type with skin type. So if you're someone with an oily skin, it's best to go for a mattifying foundation, something that will control those oils. Just be careful here if you decide to go silicone-based or water-based, because oils and water don't really mix. So if you have a really oily skin, maybe a water-based foundation won't be the best for you. Just make sure that it is mattifying and maybe make sure that it's silicone-based as well. Something like the MAC Studio Fix or the Maybelline Fit Me Matte and Poreless. If you're someone that has a dry skin, then you need to go for a hydrating or an illuminating foundation. I find that water-based and cream foundations really work well for people that have a dry skin. Something like the Trueskin foundation from Catrice. And then if you have a combination skin, it can go either way. So maybe you have a really oily T-zone and you prefer to go more matte so that this area over here doesn't get so shiny, or you are leaning more to the dry side and you want something a little bit more hydrating. The best is to play around and see what works best for your skin type, because that will give you the best results. The next problem I faced was creasing under the eyes, and the lesson I learned was if there's a wrinkle, it will crease. But there are things that you can do to minimize it. So with wrinkles and fine lines, you always want to think about hydration and moisture. If those areas are dry, it's going to crease even more. Trust me on this. I have worked on many faces, and when I moisturize correctly, this is always less of a problem. So here's what you need to do. When you're doing your skincare, you can actually add in a step if you want to, but it's not necessary. After cleansing my face, while my face is still damp, I put on some hyaluronic acid. This is just going to really get moisture into the skin and plump your face. Then I put on moisturizer and I really focus in my under eye area because this is where I have some fine lines. Then I go ahead and apply my foundation. It's even better if you can miss this area under your eyes, because the more product you're going to put on top of that area, the more it's going to crease. After that, I always apply a hydrating concealer. I stay away from mattifying and very thick concealers. Those tend to go sit in those little creases, which just exaggerates it. The hydrating concealer is going to keep that moisture inside and it doesn't go sit in the creases as much. After that, when it's time to set that area, I try and stay away from powder. If you have a super oily skin, you can put the tiniest amount of powder, but I try to stay away as far as possible, and I rather go ahead and I set it with a setting spray. So if you have an oily skin, you can still use a mattifying setting spray to set that area. Also, if you have a more mature skin and you have lots of fine lines under your eyes, I try and place the concealers far away from those fine lines. So I'll maybe focus on the inner corner of the eye, and then I will completely skip this outer corner because that's usually where you have those little crow's feet, and concealer is just going to go sit in that area. You just need to illuminate slightly, so you can even move it inwards into the inner corner of your eye and a little bit upwards, and that will still illuminate your eye. If you do all of these things, I'm 99.9% sure that you're going to start having better foundation days. You have to leave that 0.1% because you just never know. Now that you have your foundation sorted out, you might be wondering about contouring. So if that's you, go watch this video I did about contouring secrets you need to know.